This
Just
conference will now be recorded.
why am I not? I can't share the screen. Strange. Just a minute. Let me log out and log in back so that let me see. Hello. Manoj, I think you should give me the presenter access. That is the reason I'm not able to present it. Is it
I
possible?
have already given. Last time also I given the same.
Why am I not able to share the screen? Then?
Now I also I given as you have presented.
For some reason, I'm not able to share my screen. How do I do that? Just
Actually now you are the presented, sir. I make it now. Able to see the screen actually.
yes. For some reason, I'm not able to share my screen.
Just a second. I'll make Kronal as presenter. If he is
Wait.
able to do.
Restart 1 minute. Give me Okay. Can you make me presenter, Manoj, now? Sorry.
Yes, sir, I did it.
Oh God, why the hell is doing this? Manoj, again, can you make me as a presenter? It's like again, com. Thank you. Now it is finally sorted out. Yeah, I believe you can see my screen, Kunal.
No, not yet. Yeah, I can see now.
Perfect. Let So this is the IP server. So you have to just change the server IP address here. The details that he has given. So it is, yes,
I don't have the details yet, so
probably okay.
Once the class is done, I'll be installing in your system. No issues.
cool.
Why is it not logging in? One 82, 124, 233, 3253. Manoj, connection is not establishing here. It is just because the next screen is coming, it is just, oh, it's here.
Just a second, sir. I'll check just 2 minutes.
Yeah, got it. Leave it. New ISR to 1. Okay, I'm just keeping password as welcome at 1. Okay. Yeah, we are in now. Okay, so this is how I believe you are aware about how to log into SAP servers and all those stuff, or should I take you through that? initial
No,
things
no,
and
I'm
all.
aware of the logging in, how to log in.
Okay, so this is called the easy access screen. You are aware about it, right? And this is in this easy access screen is where we have in this command prompt we type the transaction codes to go into each of the transactions and do all our day-to-day transactions. But for
Okay.
every transactions to perform, you have certain configurations that you do behind the screen, right? So that happens in this SPRO configuration screen. So here is where you go to the SPRO, you type SPRO as a transaction key, and the moment you click on SAP reference IMG, it takes you to the configuration branches where the backend control exists for all the SAP screens. Okay, so the
Okay.
basic is SPRO is where the behind the screen configurations happens, and transaction is the front end where the day-to-day transactions like purchase orders, stock transfer orders, sales orders, those transactional orders being executed. Okay, this is how just to start with. And if you want to type a new transaction code, you just type it and enter it. So when you are in this transaction, if you wanted to go by closing the screen to a new transaction screen, you type /n, okay, then you go to MM43. Then this transaction goes out and the new transaction comes up. Suppose you want to keep this transaction, but I wanted to open an altogether a new transaction, then go to /o ME21N. So this screen will also be there, and additionally, one more screen will be opened. And if you wanted to close this, and you wanted to log off the session, go to /NEX. So the session will end. So this is how the basic navigational aspects of SAP.
Okay.
So having said that, now then let's move on to this thing. So now, if you log into any system, how do you identify if that is an IS configured system, and that is IS retail system, or if it is a normal R3 system, correct? So normally what happens is you have something called, see, first the thing is like, first of all, whenever you create a system, that is when you bring up your servers, first is basis will actually implement all the R3 base packs. This is something with this related to R3 and ISR. I'm not talking about the S4HANA, okay? Installation. So in terms of R3, what they do is first they lay the server, they bring up the server and they do all the patches and all those stuff. Then finally, they wanted, if you wanted to configure that as any industry specific solution, then that industry specific BC sets needs to be exploded so that that system will be entirely configured as an industry specific solution. So the base for any industry specific solution is an R3. Okay. So that is why you will see logistics, accounting, all this material management, sales and distribution and everything. But once the solution is there, you will what is that, basis will go to SFW5 transaction, and this is a basis transaction, but just to give you an overview how that system will look like. Here they will activate the retail switch. The moment they activate this retail switch, this system will be configured as an industry specific for retail system. Suppose if you want to configure an industry specific solution for defense, then you will activate that switch. You get it?
Okay.
So then immediately the system will be configured as an ISR system.
Okay.
So this is the one business function. So if you want to configure as insurance, yes, healthcare, media, mining, oil, so anything you want, you can just do it. Okay. So the moment you do it, how the system menu changes. So now you have activated a retail system. Now the basic transaction menu for retail is W10T. So the moment you do it, the entire easy access screen will be rearranged to ISRs. Now if you see, it is SAP easy access, SAP retail.
Okay.
You get it? So in logistic, you will have retailing and everything. So if it is, this is the normal R3 screen. Okay. So under logistics, you will have material management, sales and distribution, everything. Whereas when you have configured the system as a retail system and you can just activate the retail specific menus with this W10T T code. Okay, then immediately you will have the retailing specific T codes. Clear?
Okay.
So this is how the basic funda behind the how the retail system is activated and how do you go and look for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first let's look into the presentation, then let's come into the okay. Fine. I believe you have gone through the organizational structure presentation I sent you across. So it is something, the organizational structure is nothing but the basic structure of any company for that matter. Just for the time being, just set aside the SAP concept. Just look into any company. So for any company governing as a governing structure, or it is like from its day-to-day operations and governing aspect, everything if you take as a company, how is it structured? So it might have a governing body that is with a finance governing body. Then it might have a, say for instance, let's take a manufacturing setup. So if it is a manufacturing company, so what you will have a procurement department, you will have a marketing department, you will have a sales department, you will have a production controlling department, you will have a finance, right? You will have a HR. So all these put together, you will have a company. So in that company, you will have so many different departments which are actually detailing their own day-to-day activities and running the business as usual.
Right.
So our organizational structure is what this is what we are talking about. So how you relate or how you form an organizational structure and map that to our system, correct? So whether you have a central purchasing organization or not, you have a central sales organization or not, or you have a decentralized purchasing, or how do you procure your items? So this is how you understand, and based on that need, you actually create an organizational structure in the system which will map. So that is what it's going to depict in your balance sheets, right? So in your if your company wants to have a cost accounting, then you will actually frame accordingly. You wanted to have an asset accounting, then you frame it accordingly. So suppose certain companies will say, though we are not handling the asset accounting, so it's like it's separately handled by third party. We don't need to put it in our books. So because we wanted to keep it away from our books. Yeah, that is also possible. So based on the discussion with each and every org unit in the business, you understand their requirement and try to map them in our business, I mean in our systems. So in order to map, first you need to know what are the existing org units that are there in each and every different different elements, right? Like purchasing, sales, and finance, inventory. So likewise, you need to have a different, you need to understand what are the elements that are there, right? So that is what we are going to see in this chapter. Okay. So on a business view, if you look at it, you have a cost accounting, and in that you have accounting, then you have the external logistics and the internal logistics, then finally inventory management. This is how a rough or a vague business org looks like. So if you wanted to map these things into our business, I mean in our system, you have different aspects. You can have a client, which is a group of companies. So for instance, you can have Reliance as a group of companies. Under that, they can have different companies. So company can be irrespective of their line of business. Like oil and gas can be for Reliance, oil and gas can be a company. Reliance Fresh can be a company. Reliance Trends can be a company, right? And so on and so forth. Reliance Geo can be one of the company, and so on and so forth. Inside the company, you can have different controlling areas, right? So say for instance, if it is Reliance Geo, you wanted to have a different controlling area, right? So you wanted to control, and if that company has a presence in multiple countries, then you can have a different company codes as well, correct? So Company code is nothing but the closed books. So which one you present your, so each company code will have a different set of books which you present to your, on which you present your balance sheet to your the legal entity, whether it is whatever the government you are bound to be entitled to present the books. So it is actually a legal binding authority, okay, legal binding entity. So it should be in their own currency. So it has to abide to that legal structures and all those stuffs. Okay, so that company code. So many company codes can be related to a single company, and many companies can relate to a single group, right? So basically, they don't have any operating structure. So this is company is where our actual profit and loss is booked, right, for each respective company. So within company code, you have different organizational units like purchasing, sales, inventory, anything as such, right? So in purchasing, like you can have a central purchasing unit or you can have a decentralized purchasing unit. Meaning for entire Reliance, say for instance, Reliance Plus, if you take it, that is a perishable products, right? It's you have perishables and also the grocery items which you handle. Whereas for groceries, it is makes sense that you have a central purchasing unit because you have your entire purchasing unit at the head office. They sit and they negotiate with the vendors. They arrive at a good budgets and good deals, and they procure it, and they actually order on behalf of all the stores that are inside India. Whereas when it comes to perishables, it doesn't make sense to have it done a central purchasing, right? It is a very less shelf life product, right? So you cannot buy it or you cannot plan it, right? So it makes sense that you utilize the vendors that are they are very close to your place, and you procure it them from them and you just immediately sell it, right? So that makes sense. So it has to be a decentralized one. Whereas in for us groceries, it just makes sense to have a centralized purchasing unit, right? So that way it can differ from our business to business and organization to organization. Okay. And sales organization, yes, it's like the way on in whatever mediums that you're going to sell that product, right? Sales organization can be like, okay, I'm going to sell it today from my stores. I'm also going to sell it via franchisee. I'm going to sell it via online. So it can be the sales organization can be grouped as this as well, or you can have a different sales organization based on the regions or anything. So the way the business wants it. So you can have that. Say for instance, north, south, east, you wanted to bifurcate the organization, I mean sales, right? So you wanted to know what the north is doing, south is doing, west is doing, east is doing. So you wanted to regionalize and track the reporting. So you can have 4 different sales organizations. Under each sales organization, you can have online sales and all, right? So in that, if you want to distribute, you can distribute based on the distribution channels. So which you will see later. There are many options that you can do it and fit it your needs. And when it comes to inventory management, all the items that you wanted to hold will be in part of your site. Either it is a distribution center or a warehouse, or it is a store from where you actually store is nothing but where you actually sell the products, right? In retail, distribution center or warehouse is nothing but the items. I mean, is a place where you reserve the products, and as and when the stores are requiring, you supply it from them, the warehouse or the distribution center, right? That's how it is. So in retail, always the valuation area is a site, because valuation area is like if it is a DC or a store, you hold the product, right? So the valuation area is that particular site. Whereas in R3, it is always a company code, because you can keep it as a company code or also site also you can keep it. Whatever level you wanted to evaluate that stocks, you can evaluate. But as far as in retail, you wanted to evaluate always at the site level, because you always need to know what is my inventory or valuation for that particular site, right? In order to have proper estimation. That's the reason in retail always valuation area is a site.
Okay.
A site can be a DC or a store. Okay. And in site, you will the least place where you put your product is called the storage location. right?
Sorry, can you repeat for storage location?
No, you have a store, right?
Mhm.
In a store, you put it, you have the products arranged in an aisle, right?
Mhm.
That aisle is nothing but a storage location. It could be a storage
Okay.
location. So organizational structure and financial accounting and controlling. So it is like a client, and in that, as I said, you have a client. Under that, you have a controlling area. Under that, you have a company code, right? So
Mhm.
one client can have different controlling areas, and each controlling area can have different company codes. Correct?
Right.
So it has international chart of chart of accounts, and this is called CAUS. So it belongs to two different company codes at all. I mean, two different countries altogether. And in the
Okay.
same country, you have two different company codes. It
Mhm.
can go ahead. So how you wanted to deviate? Okay. Now, client is nothing but a corporate group that contains of subsidiaries, which has too many companies under its umbrella. A controlling area is an organizational unit within accounting which divides up the company for the purpose of controlling, sole purpose of controlling. So one or more company codes can be assigned to a controlling area if they have the same chart of accounts. So if you want to assign two or more company codes to a controlling area, they must follow the same chart of accounts. Okay.
Okay.
And company code is nothing but an organizational unit within accounting which structures the company from a financial accounting perspective, profit and loss perspective. Okay. We can set up several company codes in one client to keep several closed accounts at the same time. For a legal perspective, from a legal perspective or a legal standpoint, you want to have a closed books, yes, you can always have it as a different company codes. Okay.
Mhm.
You must, however, set up at least one company code in each client. Okay, because in order to make it operational.
Okay.
So from purchasing standpoint, so under client, it directly comes to the purchasing organization, which is it can be a central or decentralized. Okay, based on that. So in that, under purchasing organization, you can have different purchasing group. Actually, this purchasing area is nothing but a optional one for reporting parameter sakes. If you want, you can utilize those parameters. Okay. Otherwise, purchasing group normally determines what department you are. Say, for instance, Reliance Fresh has a central purchasing unit. It has the different purchasing groups for confectionaries. It has a different purchasing groups for departments for oil, different departments for cereals, different departments for nuts. Likewise, you get
Okay.
it? So different departments can be grouped as a purchasing group. So purchasing organization procures merchandise for stores and negotiates purchase price conditions with vendors. So this is the business unit legally responsible for the procurement. Okay, and maintenance of the data, master data from a procurement standpoint. And purchasing area can be used as a connecting link between the purchasing organization and a purchasing group. It's just an additional hierarchy used for evaluating. From
Okay.
say for instance, you wanted to have a reporting and under say that like these two departments you wanted to group under one purchasing area, and say like nuts and confectionaries you want to see, and you wanted to report you wanted to pull a report and say that how much is my procurement cost going into this thing. So you wanted to do some kind of evaluations, then that in for that aspect you can use the purchasing area. Okay, so purchasing group is nothing but similar to that of a department in your company. Okay, so purchasing
Okay.
groups are responsible for maintaining master data and control data of local purchasing operations with respect to that department. Okay, what is the conditions and what else, etc. Okay, so when it comes to valuation, it is, as I said, in retail, valuation area is always a site, right?
Mhm.
So the products are always valuated at the least level of site, not with the company code. Okay. And when it comes to sales, as I said, you have a sales organization, and then below that you have the distribution channel. Below that you have something called division. Okay. So sales organization and distribution channel put together, they are termed as distribution chain.
Okay.
And sales organization, distribution channel, and division put together, they are called sales area.
Okay.
Okay. Again, I'm repeating, sales organization and distribution channel put together, they are called as distribution chain, whereas sales organization and distribution channel and division, they are called together called a sales area. Okay. So the distribution channel, in common terms, they are used to distinguish what kind of medium that you are selling the product. Is it a store, or is it an internet, or is it a franchisee, or is it a e-catalog? That way it goes on, right?
Okay.
So a sales organization is legally responsible for sales in your company and is therefore responsible for product liability for any resource claims and from customers, right? You sell the product from that, and you liabilize with the customer for any reclaim. I mean, any claims or anything post sales, whatever you have, you just liaise with your customer. So it allows you to divide your market into regions. Sales transactions are always processed within a sales organization. So in order to best serve the individual markets, you wanted to have an option of defining distribution channels, like it can include stores, wholesale, outlets, mail orders, etc. So as I said, distribution chain is a combination of particular sales organization and distribution channel. Okay.
Okay.
In this example, RG10, R1 constitute a distribution chain, and RG10 and R7 constitute a different distribution chain. Correct?
Okay.
So inventory management. So when we come, say, as far as stores are concerned, you don't have a bigger, right? So if you go into any store, you will just have a back door just to have some reserve products, right? So it is like it will have some 3-4 shelves. That's it. That is called a storage location. Put it. So it has just a simple storage location. But whereas when you go to a big warehouse, if you wanted to, you have like umpteen number of products that are being stored in different high racks, different cold storages, and all those stuff, right? So you need to know which product I've kept it in which place and in which rack and which aisle I have kept it, right? So you need to know the exact pinpoint location, right? So in that sense, the entire warehouse is actually split into many different aspects of storage type and storage bin. So in warehouse, storage bin is the least point in which a product can be identified. Okay. If you look at it, this one, it says it is in the 5th floor, 4th aisle, and 3rd bin. I have found it. So likewise. And storage type defines the picking area. I mean, it can be any type of like high rack picking area. It can be a picking area. It can be a shipping area. It can be high rack storage. It can be a cold storage. Likewise, right? That's the storage. And warehouse number is nothing but it's a physical number of the warehouse. Okay. And you have 3 different types of management: material management, lean warehouse management, and warehouse management. Warehouse managed is fully, the stock is maintained until storage bin. That is, it's a fully warehouse maintained. I mean, it's on a full warehouse maintained WM, warehouse management. Lean warehouse management is like you don't maintain the full-fledged, but you just maintain only the stocks until the storage time. Whereas if it is it is like you maintain only at the storage location level. So for any stores, they are maintained at the as with level. Okay. So inventory, this is how it is. Like you have a site which is distribution center 700. It has 2 storage locations, 001, 0002, and in this storage location level only we configure the warehouse. Right? If you look at it, this is a storage location. This storage location is configured as a warehouse. Okay. So as I said, a site can be a store or a distribution center or a production location. But a storage location is a stock keeping unit with its own inventory management. Okay. The stocks located in a site can be managed separately in different storage locations. So like storage locations can be different, like for sales, you can have a storage location. Whatever stock that you are getting as a return from the customer, you wanted to isolate in a different place, right? So that can be a return storage location, right? And you return it, but you inspect that product, right? You want to inspect that, so you can put it in a quality inspection. So likewise, you can segregate different storage locations. Okay. A storage bin represents the smallest org unit available in the system where the product is maintained in the warehouse. Okay. So this is the entire organizational structure in retail. So company and client, you will have a central purchasing, and purchasing org and group can have a group purchasing, and all the company code, sales organization, distribution channel. After that, you have the site and company code if necessary, then sales office if you want to have something. So additionally, likewise. So only if you look at this dark line, they belong to the org unit. And this is something, but if they are supplied by. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's with the entire org units and mapping of them different org units. Any doubts so far?
No, it's quite clear.
Okay, perfect. Again, I'm telling you the password is welcome, capital W, then everything is small, welcome @1.
Okay.
I can ping you just for reference. Okay, so first let's go to SPRO. Okay. So you click on SAP reference IMG, then go to enterprise structure. Okay, and you have something called definition and assignment. So before that, we will create an org structure. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So we will have a company code, right? Then we will have a purchasing org, right? Then we will have purchasing
Group. Okay.
groups. Then we will have sales organization, right?
Mhm.
Then we will have distribution channels, correct? Then we
Mhm.
will have
Sites.
sites. In that sites, we will have DC and stores, correct? This is how we will start. So now, as far as org structure is concerned, we will stop until creation of these things. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Fine. So now let's go to definition, financial accounting. Okay. Now we will create a company code. Where is the company code? Edit, delete, and check the company code. We will click on copy, delete, check company code. So we will copy all the data from the existing company code to a new company code. Okay. So we will select this one, copy as, because we are not well versed in GL configuration and all, right? So we better we take the reference company code and we do everything in that.
Okay.
That we anything. Takes a while. because it's a big, it takes all the associated tables, collects the data, then brings in. Okay. So let's take R300. That's the standard one. Let's take this R300. Okay. So let's create one company code. What can be the company code name? Your create. So right? If you're going to create any of the custom namespace, it should start with Z or Y namespace. Okay. So like for instance, ZK01. Okay.
Okay.
Click on. You want to copy all? Yes. You want to like a different local currency to target company code? No. Okay. Only which let's stay in later. ZK01, right? Okay. Company code is stated. Yes. So we create a new request. So in this is request, because whenever we create any changes in the SAP config system, so you know about the landscape, right? Normally how the systems work like, right? You have a configuration golden client that is called golden client, which is called normally we use to do the configuration. Then we will have the test system, right? Then we will have the quality system. Then we will have the production system, right?
Okay.
So whatever configs that we make it in this golden client, we capture it in a transport request. So all the changes will get added to that transport request. Once you have done with all the configuration, then you release this configuration transport request, and all the config changes from here will move to this system first.
Okay.
Right? Then you actually move the config further, it goes to quality. Then you move it to the production. Correct? This is how the normal in any of the typical SAP clients it works like. So this is called golden client, test, quality, and production. Okay.
Okay.
So here we create a new request. So now enterprise structure config. Okay. I save it. A new transport request has got created. Okay. If you want to see your transport request, you can go to. Let me finish this. Okay, now the company code's created. So now if you want to create a new, you want to see what company, transactions or whatever transport request has been captured, go to /se10, give your user ID and click on modifiable and release. Released means once the request is released, you will not be able to make any changes to the transport request further. You are
Okay.
with me? Because you are doing the configuration. Once you released it, you will not be able to add any more configurations to this. You have to create a new transport request and add it to it, right? So once it is released, it will be out of this one. So that's what it is. Released means. Modifiable means it is not yet released, still you can make changes. So now click on display. So this is what we created, right? Crunol enterprise structure configurations. So I believe someone else also using, so like there is a different transport request. So under that header transport request, you will have an item transport request. Subtask. In that subtask, you will have all the changes. See, IMG activity, edit, copy, delete, check. This is where we did, right? So you will be see the changes. Okay. So under this, you will see which tables, all the contents, what we did, everything, right? All the table contents. So these many table contents have been saved.
Okay.
This is how it works. Okay. Clear how the transport request is getting captured? Okay. Now come back. So now you can go to edit company code, and whatever company code you create, if you want to make any changes, you can go and check it. ZK01. Okay, it says IDES retail. Let's put Ronald retail. Change it. Ronald retail. Change. Okay. So it will be the country will be US, currency will be USD, language will be US. That's it. Again, the same changes. Okay. So the company code is created. Okay. Now let's move on to our major aspects. Now go to logistic general. So define valuation level, right? So as I said, valuation level is always at the site level, not at the company code level.
Okay.
Okay. Site we will see later. Okay. I mean, we will see when we have a separate lesson for that. Okay. We will see in that. So now come to sales and distribution. Now select define copy, delete, check sales organization. Okay. Now define sales organization. Oh shit. Okay. Now let's go to, we will select any of the sales organization and change it. Say for instance, RF10 we can check, copy as, and we will put ZK01. Okay. It is Chronol, we will put retail. Okay. This is USD, sales organization calendar, everything is fine. Plus enter.
Can it be same as the company code?
Doesn't matter. It's just for test purpose, right? So which is the address, everything you can create. Okay. So it's fine. Save it. Okay. Now if you click on this is one. Okay. Now save it. Again, it will ask the same transport request. You can put it. Okay. So now we have created a sales organization ZK01. So this is because I'm using the same terminology because in our class it will be easy because otherwise you won't remember. Okay, sales organization is done. Next is what? Distribution channel, right? Go to distribution channel. How many things are there? Let's put Z1 and Z2 or ZR and ZO. Is that okay? We'll put ZR, meaning retail. Chronol retail. Okay. ZO means that Chronol online. Okay. Similarly, we'll create one more Chronol internal. For internal purpose, okay. Stock transfer and all that. So we have three things, right? What are the things we have? V R E I Z O, correct? Three things we have. Perfect. So we completed the sales organization. We need to create one division. So for division, you go to here it is, right? Logistic general under that. Click on division, define division. It's just a dummy, so just don't worry about it. So let's create one ZK. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Enter, then save it. Then again the same transport request, save it. So division is ZK, right? ZK is common for everything. Okay. Now let's go and create the purchasing organization. Logistic general, logistic, then material management, final one. Maintain purchasing organization. Or 300 copy as you will put ZK01. Okay. And now purchasing or save same purchasing. Done. So come back. Oh God, where is it? ZK01. Then where do you find the purchasing group? So for purchasing group, go to material management, purchasing. See purchasing group, do you find anywhere? Yeah, here it is. Create purchasing groups. Okay. Just
Okay.
for our sake, we will just create one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take R30 copy as ZK0. Okay. Or let's put Z01 or ZK0. It's fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Telephone number you can give +1 9876532. Okay. Save it. So purchasing group is ZK0.
Hmm.
Oh. So done. Back. Now again go to the top. Enterprise structure. So for all the definitions we have done, right? We have defined it. Now we
Mm-hmm.
need to assign them, right? We need to assign each company code to purchasing organization, sales organization, all those stuff. So financial accounting, company code to company, we are not going to link because we are just having the least level is company code. So let's not get into that. So come to logistic general. Now you will assign site to company code. We will see in the layer next part. Okay. I mean, when we create the site master, we will see directly. Now we will see only for sales and assign. Now we will assign the sales organization to company code. So we created ZK01. So for that we have to assign to our company code ZK01. Isn't it?
Okay.
See, this is the problem with this test systems. If they do something, okay. Now done. So this changes also would have gone in our transport request because we made changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that, well, it's fine, leave it. It's no, doesn't matter. Okay. So now we have assigned we
Sales
created
org.
separately. Now we have assigned the sales organization to company code. Similarly, purchasing organization to company code. Then we need to link distribution channel to sales organization, division to sales organization. Then we need to link all the three. Okay, one by one we need to do. Now
Mm-hmm.
assign the distribution channel to our sales organization. So what is our sales organization? Z201, correct? So new entries ZK01. What is our distribution channel? ZR, ZK01 online, then ZK01, then ZI, correct? These are the three distribution channels. Then save it. Now we have linked sales organization to company code, distribution channel to sales organization, then division to sales organization. Now we need to assign new entries ZK01 Z, what is that one?
ZK0.
No, division, ZK.
ZK.
ZK. Done. Now we have set assigned. Now we have to set the sales area. Say what is sales area? I told you, right?
Yeah, sales area is sales org plus distribution channel plus division.
Perfect. Fantastic. That's what we are going to do. Now click on new areas. We have already linked sales organization and distribution channel. Now we are going to link division along with that so that we form the sales area, right?
Mhm.
Done. Now we have created the sales area.
Okay.
And these things, sales office and sales group, these are all for reporting purpose. It's not mandatory that you need to create them. Correct?
Okay.
Now linking site to sales org and distribution channel, we will see it in the direct site master creation itself. We will not even come to SPRO. We will do it in the easy access screen itself. I'll show you how to do that. Okay. When we go there. Now come to material management. Now we will assign purchasing organization to company code, right? Go to the purchasing organization is there. Now we need to assign the company code. Save it. Save it. Come back. Purchasing organization to site also we will see. So now we have linked everything. All the parameters we have linked, right?
Yep.
So we created company code, purchasing, these things, everything we linked it. So that's how we have done the configuration for organizational structure. What I'll do is I will save this file in a common path where we both can edit together, right? That makes sense. So let me see it. Excel. Desktop. So let's put Chronol class. Okay. See. Where did I save it? Did I save it in the desktop? Okay. Okay. What I'll do. Okay. I'll put it in a. Should I put it in a G drive and share the link to you? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let me put this one. Okay. Done. Now I will make this file as your email ID, Kunal,
Kronal0895 @gmail.
right? So I'll give full access, okay, editor, so that I can edit together. Okay, so I believe you can access this table. So now what would be the assignment for you is like create a similar structure,
Okay.
but make with more sense. I just showed you just for these things, right? So just I created. So now you visualize a company and form a structure.
Okay.
Maybe you can use the company code, the same our company code. That's not a problem. Okay.
Okay.
Other below the org structure of company code, you can just visualize and do it. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what I had for today to cover for you, org structure. So maybe you can take this, conceive, and work on the system, and come back with any doubts tomorrow. So let's continue the next class tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. So tomorrow is Monday, right? So we'll have to do later in the evening.
Fine, not a problem. I'm on a vacation like next week, so I should be okay. Fine, I can do it.
Okay. All right.
Time, just let me know so that I will be prepare myself. I prepare myself for that time.
Yeah, no worry. I'll talk to Manoj and I'll also drop you a mail on your Gmail so that we are all in sync.
Absolutely fine, not a problem. Just keep me aware, like almost like probably by end of the day, if you can confirm it, it will be great.
Yeah, I'll do that by end of the day.
Then perfect, man. See you then tomorrow. Bye bye.
Okay. See you. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.